Hi guys, it's Alex Base here. Welcome to my channel. I've been away for over a month and I've been back only for like 10 days or so, and a lot has happened. Lots of phones have come out and I've been testing a couple of them as well. One of them has been tested for over 7 days now, and it is this beauty here, the Oppo Find X8 Pro. It's a true flagship from the Chinese giant Oppo, and it is the first Find X series phone to be released since 2022. The Find X6 and the Find X7 series were exclusively released in China. So releasing this one worldwide is a big deal, trust me. It's got some cool features to it and also some upgrades compared to the previous generation, as well as, speaking of flagships, it costs, of course, a flagship price of £1,049 in Britain, and in Europe is about 1,300 euros. So yeah, a lot of money, but then again, it is what it is. Speaking of flagships, of course, no charger in the box, but we saw that coming, did we? And is it worth the price? Is it worth the hype? Well, let's find out. It's already been unboxed, but this is what it is in the box itself. No charger. There we go. You get a charging cable, USB-A to USB-C, the usual booklets and warranty, as well as a porcupine device and one of these adapters. It's a USB-C to USB-A, and that's it. Let's quickly go over the build of it. And on the back is a Gorilla Glass 7i. It's got a quad camera as well. So we've got a 50 megapixel main camera. We've got the ultra wide 50 megapixels, as well as the two telephoto lenses. This is the periscope one, and this is the other one. So one is 3 times zoom, the other one is 6 times optical zoom. And then we've got on the front as well is a pre-applied screen protector, as you can see, and Gorilla Glass 7i, and on the side is an aluminium frame. You got on this side the power button and the volume rocker down and up. On the top you've got 2 microphones and a IR blaster. On the other side we've got an alert slider taken from their brother OnePlus, but still it's a nice touch. And on the bottom we've got the dual SIM card with eSIM support, the USB-C charging port, the double mic, and also stereo speakers. Speaking of stereo speakers, let's hear them out. Speakers are not that impressive, and the phone also lacks Dolby Atmos support. It's got all reality audio and several different scenarios to use, and it supports spatial audio. The Oppo Find X8 Pro has a sturdy design and is rated IP69 for water and dust resistance. Oppo have added the alert slider, and you can quickly go from ring mode to silent mode to vibrate within a second. Everyday use is smooth, and the phone runs on ColorOS Android 15 out of the box. Oppo promises 5 years of software updates and 6 years of security updates. Where's the best place to go in Brixton?
Brixton offers a vibrant mix of experiences. Here are a few top spots depending on your interests. For foodies, Brixton Village and Market Row.
The Find X8 Pro provides some AI shenanigans, such as, for example, you can take a picture through a window and then remove the reflection. It works reasonably well, just not really perfect. Another thing you can do, of course, is to erase objects from the photo yourself. And you can also do a 4K clarity and unblurring a photo or removing a human from it. It does a decent job overall. There are other AI features such as AI Toolbox or AI Studio. It does have a few useful software features such as split view, smart sidebar, flexible windows, one-handed mode, etc. The screen is bright and is a 120Hz Super AMOLED LTPO screen. Curiously enough, it's been downgraded to a 1.5K resolution instead of Quad HD like on previous generations. Also, the screen is less sharp at 450 pixels per inch compared to 510 to the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. Nonetheless, this 6.78-inch screen is great. It has Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus support. The HDR performance is pretty good, and you won't be disappointed watching any kind of content on it. Now let's talk about the refresh rate. You can choose between three modes: 120Hz high rate, standard 60Hz, or auto select. When you choose the high refresh rate and when you're web browsing and using the interface, it goes up to 120Hz, and then when you're not interacting with the screen, it quickly goes down to 1Hz. If the brightness, however, is too low, the screen is going to go down to 10Hz instead of 1. In Google Maps, the refresh rate goes up to 60Hz and then goes down to 1Hz when you're not interacting with the screen. When you set the rate to 60Hz in standard, this is the maximum you can get, and then it goes down to 1Hz. It gets really interesting when you set it to auto select. You get 120Hz in the interface, and it can go down to 1Hz when you're not interacting with it. However, when you browse in Google Chrome, the most you get is 90Hz, and then it goes down to 1Hz when you're not interacting with the screen. In Google Maps, you again get maximum 60Hz and then down to 1Hz. In all three modes, the videos alternate between 30 and 60Hz. When it comes to gaming, it's a mixed bag. I got 120 frames per second in Asphalt Legends and in Brawl Stars. However, in PUBG and Call of Duty, I only got 60Hz. So high refresh gaming is possible, but only on selected games. The phone has a flagship chipset, MediaTek Dimensity 9400, manufactured on an efficient 3nm process. You can turn the high performance mode in the battery settings and to make the phone the fastest it can be. However, that's going to consume more battery. The performance of the Find X8 Pro is pretty good, even if it is slightly behind Snapdragon 8 Elite and the Apple's A18 Pro. It's still a very powerful chipset with strong benchmarks, as you can see. In the 3D stress benchmark, it got hot, really hot, but still did reasonably well, even if again it is behind the competition a little bit. The power efficiency of this chipset seems to be very good. I got excellent standby performance by it and good battery life. Of course, when it comes to battery life, the software optimizations and the size of the battery play a key role as well. Oppo has upped the battery capacity to 5,910 milliamp hours compared to the 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. That's a significant jump indeed. 1 hour of gaming took down the battery by 5%. 1 hour of watching videos took it down by 3%. 1 hour of web browsing took it down by 3% as well. And 1 hour of phone calls took it down by 2%. The charging has been downgraded to 80 watts from 100 watts. And it charges from 0 to 100% in 55 minutes. I can only assume this is a cost-cutting measure. It also can be wirelessly charged at 50 watts. It also has 10 watts reverse wireless charge, and you can charge other devices just switch it on in the battery settings and position it correctly on the other device. Now let's take a look at those cameras. They're tuned by Hasselblad, of course. We've got a 50 megapixel main sensor, Sony Lithia 808 with optical image stabilization, an ultra-wide 50 megapixel Samsung JN5 sensor, a telephoto 50 megapixel Sony Lithia 600 with optical image stabilization and 3x optical zoom, and a second periscope telephoto lens, 6x optical zoom, 50 megapixel Sony IMX858 sensor with optical image stabilization. On the front, we've got a 32 megapixel Sony IMX615. The Find X8 Pro gets an extra feature this time around, and it is a camera button on the side, just like on the iPhones. And in a similar Apple fashion, you can open up the camera with double click and also adjust the zoom for photos and video. Unlike the iPhones, however, I found the button here to be much more intuitive and responsive. The selfie photos are overall good. The colors and the dynamic range are very good. However, the subject could be more detailed, especially facial features. And at 32 megapixels, it's probably too much for a selfie. I don't think there's enough detail in a selfie, but that's just me. Unfortunately, there's no autofocus here, so the close-ups are a bit hit and miss. Main camera produces very good pictures during the day, and there's no noise to speak of. The detail is fantastic, and it's all rendered very nicely. Exposures are on point, and dynamic range is also pretty good. Saturation is fine, as well as the white balance. The images from the main camera are among the best on the market. As a whole, all four cameras on the back shoot fantastic pictures during the day. I had no complaints, with the exception of a little bit probably from the 2x zoom, where they occasionally come soft a little bit and with a little bit of noise, but nothing major. Also bear in mind that these pictures were taken in a very gloomy weather here in England. Now let's take a look at the ultra-wide and the zooming shots. The ultra-wide lens performs admirably well during the day. It has excellent sharpness and detail, and the images that produces are noise-free. Dynamic range is also pretty wide, and the colors are both accurate and very pleasing. As mentioned, the 2x zoom is a little bit soft, and it does lack a little bit of sharpness, as well as there is a little bit of noise in the image, but nothing too major to speak of. The 3x zoom is excellent. It is pretty good for mid to long range shooting. The images are sharp and clean, and also the detail is pretty good. Same goes for the 6x shots too. You can let me know in the comments below what you think of Find X8 Pro's camera. The selfie video was underwhelming and disappointing, really, and you're gonna find out why very shortly. Hey guys, this is the 1080p at 60 frames per second. And this is 4K at 30 frames per second. This is 4K at 60 frames per second. The electronic image stabilization, however, is pretty good on the Find X8 Pro. The phone can shoot Dolby Vision from all its four lenses on the back, and also can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. All footage was done in Dolby Vision. The main camera shoots excellent 4K video from it. The white balance is spot on, the white dynamic range is excellent, the colors are pretty vibrant, and the detail is also pretty good. The ultra wide also shoots pretty solid video, and again to remind you that all this footage has been done in a cold, cloudy, gloomy day in England. The 2x zoom video is a bit soft, and the 3x zoom and the 6x zoom video is excellent and very, very usable. I suggest you stick to these ones if you were to do it. So for as far as telephoto lenses go, this is pretty good performance. The selfies at night are overall good. As a matter of fact, they're better than the ones during the day, really. And just make sure there's enough light and also use the flash and you'll be fine. Just like during the day, the images that the Oppo Find X8 Pro's main camera produces at night are superb. The dynamic range is excellent. The images are very well exposed. The shadow development is masterful and the highlights are preserved in a very good way. Colors again are accurate and there is no excessive sharpening. The ultra-wide lens again performs very well as far as ultra-wide lenses go, of course. 2x zoom shots are okay. They're probably better at night than they are during the day. Just do not zoom in any further and just, view them from a distance and you'll be fine with them. The night shots from the 3x zoom and the 6x zoom telephoto cameras were excellent as expected, really. You can see it for yourselves. Now let's take a look at the customary night video. There you have it, guys, the Oppo Find X8 Pro. Many upgrades and improvements across the board. A couple of things have stayed the same and a couple of things have regressed. And at £1,049, I would think that the pros outweigh the cons and you should have a look at this phone because it might be worth it. However, at the end of the day, you decide. Thanks very much for watching and see you next time. Ciao.